Introduction: a brotherhood forged in conflict. The relationship between Hezbollah and Iran's Quds force transcends that of a mere partnership. It is a complex, multi-layered alliance rooted in shared ideology, strategic interests, and mutual goals. Since its inception in the early 1980s, Hezbollah has evolved from a small militia into a powerful political and military organization, thanks in large part to the support and guidance of Iran's Quds Force, an elite branch of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps (IRGC). This story takes you deep into the workings of the Hezbollah-Quds Force alliance, uncovering how their partnership has shaped regional conflicts, expanded Iran's influence, and turned Hezbollah into a formidable force operating far beyond Lebanon's borders. The birth of Hezbollah. Iran's role in founding the group Hezbollah was born out of the chaos of Lebanon's civil war and Israel's 1982 invasion of the country. Iran, under the leadership of Ayatollah Khomeini, saw an opportunity to export its revolutionary ideals by supporting Shia factions resisting Israeli occupation. It was the Quds Force, under the IRGC's direction, that spearheaded Iran's efforts to create a proxy force in Lebanon. Iranian operatives, led by IRGC commanders, traveled to Lebanon's Bekaa Valley, where they trained and armed a group of Lebanese Shia fighters. This effort culminated in the formal establishment of Hezbollah in 1985, with a founding manifesto that pledged loyalty to Khomeini's vision of Islamic governance and resistance to Western and Israeli influence. The ideological bond, guardians of the Islamic Revolution at the core of the Hezbollah-Quds Force relationship, is a shared ideological framework rooted in Shia Islam and the principles of the Iranian Revolution. Both entities view the United States and Israel as existential threats and prioritize resistance to Western influence in the Middle East. For Hezbollah, Iran's supreme leader functions as the group's spiritual guide, with members pledging allegiance to him in matters of religious and political significance. This ideological alignment strengthens their partnership and ensures that Hezbollah remains a reliable proxy for Iran's regional ambitions. Military cooperation, training, arms, and tactics. The Quds Force has been instrumental in shaping Hezbollah's military capabilities. Since the 1980s, Quds Force operatives have provided Hezbollah fighters with advanced military training, focusing on guerrilla warfare, urban combat, and rocket attacks. Iran also serves as Hezbollah's primary arms supplier. Smuggled through Syria and other clandestine routes, Iranian weapons have enhanced Hezbollah's arsenal, giving the group access to sophisticated missiles, drones, and anti-tank systems. Notably, the Quds Force facilitated the transfer of precision-guided missiles, enabling Hezbollah to threaten strategic targets deep inside Israel. Qasem Soleimani, the charismatic commander of the Quds Force until his assassination in 2020, was pivotal in deepening the military cooperation between the two groups. Soleimani was known to maintain direct communication with Hezbollah's leader, Hassan Nasrallah, and coordinated many joint operations. The Syrian Civil War and beyond. The Syrian Civil War, 2011-present, marked a turning point in the Hezbollah-Quds Force alliance. When protests against Syrian President Bashar al-Assad escalated into a full-blown conflict, both Hezbollah and Iran intervened to support the Assad regime. The Quds Force, under Soleimani's leadership, orchestrated the deployment of thousands of Hezbollah fighters to Syria. These fighters played a key role in battles such as the defense of Damascus and the recapture of Aleppo, turning the tide in Assad's favor. The war allowed Hezbollah to gain battlefield experience and demonstrated the group's ability to operate beyond Lebanon's borders. Beyond Syria, Hezbollah and the Quds Force have collaborated in other regional conflicts, including in Iraq and Yemen. Their shared goal is to counter US influence and expand Iran's sphere of influence in the region. Financial support. Iran's lifeline to Hezbollah. Iran provides substantial financial support to Hezbollah, estimated at hundreds of millions of dollars annually. These funds enable Hezbollah to maintain its military operations, social services, and political activities. Despite international sanctions aimed at cutting off Hezbollah's funding, the Quds force has developed clandestine channels to continue funneling money to the group. Hezbollah also benefits from Iran's extensive network of front companies and illicit activities, including smuggling operations and money laundering schemes. This financial lifeline has allowed Hezbollah to weather economic crises and sanctions, maintaining its influence both in Lebanon and across the region. The assassination of Qasem Soleimani, a turning point. The assassination of Qasem Soleimani by a US drone strike in January 2020 was a significant blow to the Quds force and its network of allies, including Hezbollah. Soleimani had been a key architect of Iran's regional strategy, and his death raised questions about the future of the Hezbollah-Quds force relationship. In the wake of Soleimani's death, Hezbollah vowed to continue his legacy, with Hassan Nasrallah calling for retaliation against the United States and its allies. While Soleimani's successor, Ismail Qani, has struggled to fill his predecessor's shoes, the strategic alliance between Hezbollah and the Quds force remains intact. Political impact. Expanding Iran's influence through Hezbollah's relationship with the Quds force is not limited to military cooperation, it also serves as a political tool for Iran. Through Hezbollah, Iran exerts significant influence over Lebanese politics, shaping the country's foreign policy and security decisions. Hezbollah's political clout was evident during the 2008 crisis in Lebanon, when the group used its military power to force political concessions from rival factions. Hezbollah also acts as Iran's diplomatic envoy, maintaining relationships with other militant groups and political actors across the region. This role allows Iran to project power and influence without direct involvement, insulating itself from the consequences of regional conflicts. Hezbollah and Quds force in the crosshairs. Sanctions and isolation. The close relationship between Hezbollah and the Quds force has made both entities targets of international sanctions. The United States and its allies have designated Hezbollah as a terrorist organization and imposed strict sanctions on its leadership and financial networks. Similarly, the Quds force has been sanctioned for its involvement in terrorist activities and human rights abuses. Despite these efforts, Hezbollah and the Quds force have shown remarkable resilience, continuing their operations and adapting to new challenges. Conclusion: a strategic alliance that shapes the region. The partnership between Hezbollah and Iran's Quds force is one of the most enduring and influential alliances in the Middle East. Built on shared ideology, military cooperation, and mutual interests, this relationship has allowed Hezbollah to evolve from a local militia into a regional powerhouse. Together, Hezbollah and the Quds force have altered the course of conflicts in Syria, Iraq, and beyond, challenging US influence and reshaping the geopolitical landscape. Their alliance is a testament to the power of non-state actors in modern warfare and the complexities of Middle Eastern politics. As long as Iran seeks to project power beyond its borders, and as long as Hezbollah remains committed to its mission of resistance, this strategic brotherhood will continue to shape the future of the region.